Love walked in. This is one of my signed footballs by Mr. Jamal Anderson, former Dirty Bird for the Atlanta Falcons. Season about to kick off, the NFL. That's what I'm talking about today on the Yeah Come On show. Yes, as we had football last night, we got football this weekend, and it's time. It has been time. It was very weird to watch football on a Thursday night without a crowd, but I did it. It's the Yeah Come On show. I'm Southside Steve. That's my partner there, my co-host, Mr. Brett Barney. And the Yeah Come On show is covering football. Why wouldn't we cover football? I mean, that's what we're all here for.
It's the South. We got to cover football. We got to do a football episode. We do it every year now.
We do. We dress up. It's tradition. It is tradition. Brett Barney, you are, we're like two, I don't know. I don't want to call us, what are those two families that fall all the time?
The Hatfields and McCoys?
Hatfields and McCoys. Yeah, because it's like the Rickmans and the Barneys, because my wife is an Auburn grad and you're an Alabama grad, and I just don't know how all that comes in.
Hey, you want to hear a dumb fun fact? My girl's a McCoy. It's a McCoy, right? Yep.
Of the Hatfield and McCoys?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. She's like, yeah, great granddaddy used to shoot at the McCoys, or the Hatfields. That's awesome. Dude, you saw the behind the
I've watched all of it before I even met her, and when she told me that, I was like, get out of here.
Yeah, because you hear about it growing up, and then all of a sudden, what is it? Kevin Costner plays, in it in the show Hatfields and McCoys. I can't talk. God bless America.
All right, you're just a radio show host.
That's all I do for a living is talk radio. But you know what? When you've done radio all day, and then you've had to talk to people all day because we're having some work done in the house, and then you've cut commercials, and then all of a sudden a podcast comes along, and you wake up from a nap with your son on top of you and start drinking bourbon, you're going to slur a little.
It happens. It happens to the best of us.
It does. So I apologize for being late coming into you, baby. But, I stayed up late. How was I not going to watch football? Now, the one problem I have with the NFL right now, and, not really college. I'm more of an NFL guy. Are you more NFL or college?
See, I think I've always been a college football fan, kind of floated in and out of NFL. You got to remember, when I was a kid, just like you, I'm sure you grew up a Falcons fan. I mean, we both have our Falcons gear on. The Falcons sucked until they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Broncos. I mean, I really didn't pay much attention to it, nor was I playing. But then when I started playing, I kind of got more into it. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Alabama, and I got really into college football. You get out of college, but you're still like a diehard college football fan. But I think I've grown more as an NFL fan as I've gotten older, but I'm definitely Alabama. If I had to pick, watch a Falcons game or watch a Bama game, big game, I'm probably going to have to watch the Bama game.
You know what? And I get that. My wife's funny because she never missed a Auburn football game, and her boyfriend, was in a fraternity, so she was like fourth or fifth row, so she was spoiled, and she went to all the games and everything. But the second she graduated, she still dated him for a while until she cheated on him with me. And yeah, do you realize that I was in a relationship that basically I could do what I wanted in it? We were together. We were kind of one of those off and on. It was basically a sexually based relationship that she didn't put any brakes on me. Anything I wanted to do, we did. So it was easy. And she was not bad on the eyes at all. She was hot, I'll say it. But then I meet my wife, and then I fall in love, And she had the boyfriend. She made the first move on me. I kept it. I was cool. And she basically got guilt-ridden, called him up, broke up. And we've been together ever since. So, then you got to wonder, will she cheat on me? Of course not. So
I think she's kind of locked down at this point. You got 2 kids, a house.
She never cheated on anybody. She's such a Girl Scout. She even stops for stop signs. She's a rule follower. I'm the only wild card in her life. But, people will say that we're not meant to be together. But she will tell you that she knew. She's like, you're the one. Therefore, nothing else matters. So, now we've made babies. So you're right. I think I got her on lockdown. But my point is that she doesn't watch Auburn football anymore because that guy's out of her life. I have no reason to watch Auburn football. I grew up a Georgia Tech fan because I lived in Atlanta and I ushered for Tech as a kid. So when I was like 11, 12, 13, I would usher all the home games for Georgia Tech. So those were the football games I was seeing before I was even in high school. And I loved it. So I had a cousin that went there. So Georgia to me was like out of state. It was so far away.
Oh yeah.
But then when I go to college, I go to a 2-year school. You know, I was a soccer guy, and they were soccer schools. And then I go to Georgia State, which is where I got on the radio, and they didn't have a football team. Now they do. So I don't have that experience. I'm not jealous, but I wish I would have had it. What you had, loving Alabama the way you do, and going to those games the same way she did. But guys tend to live it a little more than girls do. But the South, you'll agree, this is SEC country more than ACC, and everybody loves college football. But for me, I started there, but I went to the pros, and I became the Falcon fan. And you got to have a second favorite team. And I'm going to ask you who yours was, because when you love the Falcons, you don't get into the playoffs. The only year we got in the playoffs, I don't know if you were born yet. It was 79. I was in the seventh grade.
10 years.
Okay. Well, that's why you don't remember. In 79, we made the playoffs, and the Falcons had to play, I think we were wild card, and we had to play the Dallas Cowboys to advance. Danny White was the quarterback. And I think it was his first year, second year, and that dude beat us. And I had a transistor radio in Sunday school class because it was being played on a Sunday night. And my mom made me go to Sunday school. I'm like, are you kidding me? Falcons, and my dad backed her play. So I'm like listening. Everybody in the class is asking, and the Falcons lost. And then you're right. Until we went to the Super Bowl, that was it. That's all we had. You got to have a second favorite team. So to anybody, listening to us right now, if you're a Falcon fan, for me, my second favorite team was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who's yours?
So I'll be honest, I kind of fluctuate here, and this is where it gets weird. My senior year at Bama was the year after Alabama went undefeated and won the national championship against Texas. So my last game I saw as a student was Bama versus Auburn, and it was the Cam Newton game, where I thought we had it in the bag, and I could feel the momentum turn in that game. It was when Mark Ingram fumbled it, and I just so happened to have walked out of the bleachers. I was going to get a mixer, or a Sprite, I guess they call them, and go urinate. And as I'm walking down the tunnel, I felt this, and like all this, it just like sucked out. And I turned around, I sprinted back, and it was like dead empty. Like nobody was going to get drinks during that game. And we were kicking their ass, and I felt it like pull me. And I ran back up, and it was like, oh shit, they got the ball. Get my drink fast, go to the bathroom, get back in the stands, watch us lose the game. Everybody knows they went on to win the national championship. But I've always said that if Cam Newton, when he was on Carolina, ever came to Atlanta, being an Atlanta guy, that I would have to pick another team because I couldn't be a Falcons fan if he was a part of our organization.
Right.
So I've always said I would be a Bills fan because I love Bills Mafia. They just kind of they coexist with the lifestyle I enjoy of just complete assholeness and breaking tables and partying.
I have been to a Buffalo Bills game in Buffalo.
See, that's why I want to do that so bad.
Dude, it is fun. When I was working with the regular guys, Eric Von Hessler's from Rochester, and he took me and Tim Rhodes and somebody else on 96 Rock. We all flew up to a Bills game, and they were playing Miami Dolphins. And I got to see the Moos, their cheerleaders. They were wearing a lot of clothes because it was cold as ass. So we get into the stands, and let me tell you the worst seats. Anybody that's a Bills fan, they're in the sunny side. In other words, the sun hits that side of the field in the afternoon. Oh, yeah. I'm over in the shadow, and I am literally in foot-deep snow, freezing my ass off. And I didn't have enough clothes, so I start buying things. The souvenir guy isn't offering up just beers. He's offering up anything you want. I bought the ear coverings. They were Buffalo Bills ear coverings with red fur. I think they were made for girls. I put those on. I bought a Miami Dolphin ball cap. I had that on. I had a Bills scarf. I was like, I'll just wear the teams because I'm technically not cheering for anybody.
You don't care.
I don't care. So I was wearing both teams, which a few people called me out for, but I was just trying to stay warm. But it was fun when you go to those winter games. That's real football. I'm glad I did it. And other than that, the biggest game other than Falcon games I've ever been to was the Super Bowl against the Broncos, and I had a front row seat on the 22-yard line thanks to Miller Lite. They gave me a front row seat, and I don't know what that seat was worth, but I loved it until we were getting blown out, and then it was like, this is the worst experience. A great seat to see your team lose sucks. My highlight was seeing Cher walk by. That was it.
Hey, you see that that room you're sitting in?
Yeah.
In every room connected to it, you could probably refurnish and repaint and get all mahogany wood put in those rooms for the price of that ticket.
Oh, you're right. And I thought about finishing it off. I mean, there's some cool stuff down the hallway and behind you and around, but you're right. I've got two really nice wooden cabinets with all my stuff in there. Like I got a Hall of Famer ball and I got a Steve Barkowski ball, a Joe Namath. So I got a few cool things that I've acquired from meeting these guys. But
if you were just going to buy that stuff, that ticket would have purchased all of that if you sold it.
Yeah. And a part of me was like, what would Miller Lite do? What would they do if I was lame enough? Because they gave it to me because I'd been working for them for years, and I'd done a lot of promotions in and around it. And we were broadcasting. We were in Miami for like 11 days or 12 days. So we were broadcasting live and interviewing everybody. And we had a whole Miller Lite setup. And everybody agreed because I was the Atlanta native, that nobody, was going to try to snag the ticket from me. But had I sold that, damn. That would have been cool. And you know who we hung out with because the regular guys were friends with them? I was walking around with Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla and Kevin from Kevin and Bean on K-Rock. And Ben Stiller was the other guy that we were there with because at the time Jimmy Kimmel was doing Ben Stiller's, or not Ben Stiller, but Ben Stein's Money. It was Ben Stein.
Oh, Ben Stein's Money.
Yeah, it was Ben Stein, Bueller. So meeting him and his hyperactive kid, and he's like everybody in California. He wears a suit coat and tennis shoes. It was like the Seinfeld look. And we ran around with those guys in Miami, and I had no idea who these dudes were. And then look at who they became. So it was a lot of fun. That was my football experience. I think everybody should get to a Super Bowl once if they can. It's definitely, you got to do it once.
I've never been to a Super Bowl. I've been to a national championship.
Yeah.
Lost to Clemson with a second to go in Tampa.
Hey, that's cool. You know what? A national championship is the next best thing to a Super Bowl. I'd say that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's the only one I've been to. I enjoyed it. Like you said, there's different atmospheres though when you go to college and NFL games. Like by far the best Falcons game I've ever been to in person was the playoff game. It's got to be like 8 or 9 years ago when we played the Seahawks and we kicked the field goal. It was in the dome. Kicked the field goal to win the game, like a 50-yard field goal, and they had called timeout to ice the kicker, and he kicked it anyways and missed. And then he came out and he kicked it and he hit it. And I was like, I've never felt the dome rock like that day.
Well, if you remember,
shaking.
Yeah, and see now that's a huge game. And if you remember, I think the best game the Falcons ever played in history was beating Minnesota to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, I remember where I was.
Yeah, me too. I was at a party in Buckhead, and I remember I was dating this hot little school teacher, blonde, like a bleached blonde, and damn, dude, I took her to my brother's wedding too. He goes, "Why are you taking her?" I go, "Because she's wearing thigh highs. That's why I'm taking her." But I remember, one guy was betting against the Falcons, and he said if the Falcons won, he'd shave his head. So they shaved his head. But that was the game to get us into the Super Bowl. But I think that was it. The Falcons used all the magic they had to get there. They had nothing left. I mean, the Broncos owned the Falcons in '98 from, kickoff. They just did.
We're going against John Elway. You want to feel really old real fast? You know where I was when we played the Vikings and won that? Was at the NFC Championship. I was at a Cub Scout meeting at this kid Anthony's house with all my Cub Scout friends in elementary school. And I remember
Damn.
they let us watch the second half of the game after we finished our project. And then we're all, after they missed the field, we were all running out in the driveway, dancing around and stuff.
Dude,
In our
that's
little Cub
awesome.
Scout uniforms and everything with the handkerchief. And
Hey, I was a Cub Scout, Weeblo, and a Boy Scout, an Eagle Scout. So I'm right there with you with scouting. But that's funny. So you're a Cub Scout. Picture me. I had driven over there. I had for a year. I had a Hummer, the original
hello.
a Hummer. Yeah, it was a yellow Hummer convertible, and I had the blonde hot school teacher, red toenail polish, perfect body, shaved. I think she had these little white hairs on her back, right there, right on top of her butt, and it's like the perfect little hotness. I mean, I was like, damn. And so God only knows what I did that night while you went home, in your Cub Scout uniform. But it's okay. It's okay because now look at you. You're so young, and I'm sitting here talking to you with some gray on my face. I got a detached retina right now. I can't see a damn thing out of my eye, and I've got 2 kids upstairs. So look who wins now. Look who wins. Brett Barney wins. Brett Barney's got a girlfriend that God knows what he's going to do when he gets off of this podcast. I'm going to go up. My wife's going to be like, hold the baby. I've got to make dinner.
Oh, you can find out what she's going to do if you listen to the 45-minute intro as I sat here by myself and her and I discussing what we should be doing during the time of waiting for people to join the Zoom meeting.
Well, I've got no problem listening to that, especially if it's X-rated. I could use it. And I'm not even looking at porn. You can't do anything. There's no sex. There's no porn. There's no fun when you have a detached retina. You can have no pressure to the eye. I can't even pick up anything over 10 pounds. So the one thing I can do is talk. I can barely see you, but I can talk. But I can tell you this left eye will be watching our Atlanta Falcons this weekend. So
you think we'll beat the Seahawks? I know they're 1.5-point favorites, and there's no fans. Although the Falcons do have a history of piping in crowd noise, so we should be ready for this, especially our PA guys.
I think we should. Well, there's no crowd like a Seattle crowd. That is, I think, the loudest crowd in football. Just because, not because they're that big of fans, which they are, but it's the way the stadium is constructed. Yeah, that whole, if you've ever been to Seattle. So, it's going to be different. We're talking about football and all these sports. Certain sports, obviously, crowds don't matter. I'm ready for the Masters. I'm ready, for golf. I can handle that without fans. Baseball, I can actually handle that too. It's a little weird. Basketball is the weirdest of all for me. I just can't watch it. But football, I'm interested to see, the camera angles, if they keep it up where things look good. What did you think of Thursday night football?
I think it's disappointing that a lot of people aren't letting fans in until they want to get through September. Like I know the Falcons are one of the teams that said let's get through September and then we might start thinking about letting fans in. But college football off the rip for 2 weeks or whatever. I think last week I was watching a Southern Miss game or in a UAB game, and they had, it looked weird. It looked like a really crappy high school game down there at Grady High School. The big field next to Piedmont Park,
which is one of the nicest stadiums. If you can't play in a pro stadium, go play at Grady. I don't know who financed that.
Watching those. I don't know. I don't know why the NFL. I know they're trying to be safe. They want to finish the season, and I was curious to ask you: do you think that we're going to get a full season in both college and NFL?
I do because I think if a player has it, there may be a hush-hush going on just to keep it going. Whereas, he'll have we talked about this on Bailey and Southside this morning on Rock 100.5, where all of a sudden they use an excuse like, I have a family deal. I got to deal with something, with my family, or it's some other kind of injury that would hold you up, like maybe a pulled groin or maybe, a hamstring is slightly injured. I think they'll do that because if you take that player off and then you look at the players he comes in contact with and you have to remove 15, 16 guys, you don't have a game. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the cover up. Just as much as I think everybody should wear a mask, there's a part of me that goes, look, if somebody comes down with it, you don't have to cancel everything. All right. Let's just wait to see if anybody else gets it, and if 15 people get it, fine, shut down the team. But if only this guy got it and maybe one other player, then screw it. Keep playing.
Well, did you watch any of Hard Knocks this season?
I did. I watched it, and I saw those guys and the precautions they're taking and seeing everything. It made me hopeful for a decent season.
Well, then you probably saw the part where Rex Ryan's son got coronavirus and they were all freaking out. And then he shows up the next day and was like, oh, it was a false positive.
Yeah. A lot of false positives. Yes. So I don't know. I just think that they'll deal with it internally, and it's nobody else's business. These players are getting paid millions of dollars. The two things I don't look for this season, the one thing is if a team's not doing well and they want to bow out a game, I don't want politics to come into my football either. We've seen that a little bit where people give up a game. It's one thing to give up a game if you're playing 60 games or 50 games, but when you're only playing 16 and you're going to be lucky to get those in, I think it's different. I think if they do that, they're going to catch a little bit of hell. We all know people are doing with it. If you care, put the sticker on your helmet, put it on the outside of your field. People feel different.
The NFL's where politics and professional sports really started to interact recently. Now, obviously,
sure,
the Olympics in the past and everything, we know what happened, but yeah, there's been other times, and we've seen with the NBA and MLB recently, but with Kaepernick, it's kind of where I feel like this all started with the taking the knee.
It did, and Kaepernick was the jerk, and now they're trying to act like he was ahead of his time, and they should have paid more attention to him. And they're praising him. Look at the sacrifices he made. There's something about Kaepernick. I don't know that he wants to play football, or I don't think he thinks he can pull it off. I mean, you saw his tryout when he came here. His tryout was a joke. He had all these people willing to take a look at him. He switched the fields up at the last second. I mean, he's a moron. I'm sorry.
It was just a big stunt. It was a big stunt.
It was a stunt. So I don't think he wants to play football. He can make more money trying to be the guy that leads the pack on a cause. He's getting Nike money. He's getting he's getting praised. He'll get more juice out of that being that guy than he ever will his record if he decides to play ball.
Well, what do you think about him now being added to the new Madden game, where he hasn't played in 4 years, yet his player rating is higher than 17 other current starting quarterbacks in the NFL, higher than 17 quarterbacks.
Yeah. See, now
4 years.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I agree with you. I think bringing him back, okay, I'll give that a 50-50. I won't say that was good or bad either way. But I will say having him be better than 17 starting quarterbacks is crap. If you put Kaepernick, and I'd say this to any activist, I'd say this to Kaepernick's mama or his neighbor, his best friend, or a guy that hates him. This dude cannot do what 17 other quarterbacks in the NFL right now can do. He can't. His talent, if anything, is definitely diminished. He would be lucky if he was in the bottom five, if he was fifth in the bottom five of all NFL quarterbacks.
I can't remember who I was listening to. It was somebody that's like one of the NFL analysts. That's one of the main ones. And he basically lived his career as a backup quarterback. And I was listening to him on a podcast. This was probably a year or so ago doing an interview. And he said after his second season as a backup quarterback, and I think he was in there for like 10 or 12 years as a backup and made pretty good money. He said that there was nobody coming in who was going to take his spot as a backup because he perfected being a backup. And I don't even think Kaepernick can really do that because, I mean, there kind of is an art. I mean, hell, the whole TV show Blue Mountain State is about being a backup at a major university or something, like living that life. And you kind of can work your way into that and be the best at just reading a playbook and, knowing how to – it's like producing a radio show. You may not be the best on air, but you can be the best at how to, navigate through a conversation or play a soundbite at the right time or, get in and get out. And,
it's also taking care of talent. I think if I wanted to be a backup quarterback, first off, I would make sure I look cool in a ball cap. because you're going to do your career in a ball cap. So I would make sure my hair looked cool in a ball cap. And then I would have, just so I look like I'm a little bit crazy, I would have a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. I wouldn't do anything tacky. I would just look a little rough and gruff and have that hat, and that'd be my thing. And I would always pump up the quarterback. I would make the quarterback think he's a walking god, and I would keep giving him advice. If I knew he was cheating on his wife, I'd settle him down. If I knew a girl got pregnant, I'd go hand. I mean, I'd do whatever I had to do to keep that quarterback sane. You become his best buddy. Your job is, you're like the catcher to a pitcher. You're taking care of him. Coaches realize that. And if you can keep a dude mentally sane that has a God-given ability, but a moron in his real life, that's part of it too. So you got to be all that, and if you get called upon, you got to be decent enough to not, suck. You got to be able to win a game or at least make it close. And that's it. And you get paid. And guess what? You walk away from the game. You get the rings if they come your way. You get the helmet. You get to play a little bit here and there. You get to say you played. And you get the money. You said it. And you get the health. You get to walk around without injuries. You look at these quarterbacks, guys that have been sacked. I joked about Steve Barkowski, or didn't joke. There's no joking about him. But I got signed stuff by the guy because he was my quarterback. That's a dude I've seen in real life. He doesn't walk well because he got so hurt. But who was his backup? Whoever that was, I bet he can sprint.
What do you think NFL players are at a greater risk of coronavirus or CTE?
CTE.
Yeah, I mean –
CTE all the way.
It's like being in a car wreck constantly.
There's no doubt.
Man.
No doubt. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, there's some hits that look, to us like, oh my God, if you've ever been hit, I've been hit, whether you played organized football or tackle football with your friends, but it looks horrible, but you get up and you're fine. Sometimes it's the injury doesn't even look, or the hit that doesn't even look bad that really hurts. But out of all the hits through a game, I want to say half of them are just brutal as ass. And you're like, oh my God. And I can't imagine, Monday, how you feel. Can't imagine.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's so they're like, oh, they got to be worried about coronavirus. Like, there's big stuff too.
I think we'll get through it. I think fans will be let in. I know the price of tickets is high for the amount of fans because these stadiums are doing what, 20% occupancy is about what they're doing.
College, because I was looking at Bama tickets. So their openers against Missouri, and the cheapest ticket on the second market is $800.
Damn, that's a lot of money to go to a football game. I mean, you do kind of feel.
Bama's a 21.5 point favorite.
Yeah, there's no sense. It's a blowout. But I will tell you that, imagine if you're one of the people in the stands, you almost feel like you have a stadium to yourself. So maybe that's kind of a cool feeling. Maybe that's worth the money.
Yeah, but then you also think about it. If they're only letting that number of fans in, are they opening up all the concession stands? Are they opening up any of the concession stands? I don't know.
I bet they're not. I bet people are being told, bring your own stuff. If they open all the concession stands, they're going to have to pay a little extra. Maybe to some of these employees. More people in the
stadium. That's more contact. That's more non-social distancing. They never you couldn't social distance making hot dogs in those places when there's 100,000 fans there.
No, there's no way. And you're right. The lines, we've seen the lines now. When you're 6 feet apart, you can only get about 8 people in the space you'd normally get 40. Yeah. So, I mean, the lines would be very long. I don't know. These people may rough it. They may open it up to what you can bring into the park,
Or they may do one of those things where it's like just vendors only walking up and down.
There you go.
And you don't go. Like, they don't open it up, but, like, they just go in, make 2 or 3 people making the hot dogs. And it's a select option. Hell, you're in a football game, possibly having paid $800 for a ticket to watch a blowout.
Yeah. You can simplify it. I like where you went there. I mean, the fact is you're getting to see your team play. You definitely don't have to deal with a bunch of big crowds. You don't have to deal with a whole lot of jerks because there's only so many people and you're spaced out. So it feels like, you're pretty damn important. It's kind of like a little VIP action. But you're right. If the guy's walking around, it's going to be the basics. If the vendors have hot dogs, hamburgers, wrapped up, and pretzels and beer and bottled water, that's it. That's all you get. It's that, one or the other.
Just
You pick
remember,
what you want.
most SEC schools, they don't allow you to serve alcohol, so it's just Coke, Sprite, hot dog,
Water, hot dogs, and
yeah,
hamburgers. But at the
baby.
at the NFL level, though, you're not going to get your mixed drinks, but you'll get beer. You'll get beer, so that's cool.
That's pending they open up to fans. I mean, who knows?
I don't know, but these wonderful stadiums. I mean, we have a wonderful stadium we just built. I mean, look at the new stadiums that are out there. Whether it's Oakland, San Diego, you got the Rams doing what they're doing. I mean, there's some kick-ass stadiums. One of the nicest stadiums out there still is Arizona. So how's it going to work? And then you got your hardcore fans that have tickets for life. With the Green Bay Packers stadium, or the Browns. So I don't know, but the new stadiums, that's what's killing me. You got these brand new stadiums, and it's a ghost town. It's a ghost town.
Multi-billion-dollar stadiums. Dude,
Nobody in them.
It's gonna look awful.
It is.
Speaking of
crazy year.
Looking awful. Well, okay, and I'm gonna say this about the college season. I think if the SEC gets through 3 games, they're gonna finish the season.
Yeah.
And I think NFL has a better shot of finishing, but
because of the money, because there's money involved with the NFL players, just the organizations. College, you can call it easier for sure than the NFL.
Well, I think college is more susceptible to everything going on because you have guys living in dorms and things like that.
Yeah, they're on campus. Yeah,
and that's just a melting pot, as we've seen in some of the statistics. Like
and NFL guys showing up, and then the players, they're keeping their distance and doing it all proper, and then they just go home to their families. They're not supposed to be traveling or hanging out at the neighbor's barbecue. They're supposed to be, self-quarantining a little bit to get through the season.
I hope to God Magic City is not serving any of the Falcons' wings.
None.
You got to shut that down if they're trying to.
Yeah, I think right now you should go in right now and you should pay every girl that works at Magic City, give them $400 a day to stay away. Stay away. No girls. They get a stay away fee. Don't show up to work. Don't tempt anybody. Here's $400. Stay home.
Just Arthur Blank just needs to toss the bouncer like $1,000 a night and just be like, hey, none of my guys are allowed in. Or at least give them a list. Give them a list of your starters that you can't have there. I know, because you can't even have the lower bottom guys, because if they, for some reason, get into anything, then it could mess everybody up, which could totally mess up fantasy football for this year. I think it's going to be the weirdest year for fantasy. I've never seen anything like this. I run my own league with a bunch of my friends, and I've never seen so many people discussing that they're not playing. Like this year, everybody's taking off. I don't know why everyone's calling it a wash. I usually do 1 to 2 fantasy leagues, and then I do 2 pick'em leagues. Mm-hmm. This year I'm doing 1 fantasy league and 1 pick'em league because the other ones have been called off. Unfortunately,
we have 2 family leagues. One's an auction, and we did the auction online. And I just went ahead and told him, I said, look, and it's right when I had my detached retina. I said, not only can I not see, but it's too complicated. So I bowed out of my family league. But then I've got the Yeah Come On League, Yeah Come On show, which, by the way, I told I want you to be a part of that. So, but we've got Peter Moreland of the former Atlanta Braves. We got who else is in it? I'm trying to think. We got John Rocker's in it, and then we've got Will Turpin of Collective Soul, and we've got Chris Medlin in it from former Atlanta Brave and Royal. So we've got a lot of athletes in it, and I won it last year, but there was no money involved. So I won fantasy football and won nothing. It was like a fun thing. I'm like, F it. I'm never doing a fun thing again because I could have won money. But this year we decided to do it, but most everybody went on auto pick. And then I did one for my wife's family, and I picked, but I could see a little bit better, and I had fun with it. But 2 fantasy leagues, all I want to do, because it's going to be so weird. And then you see what fantasy leagues are having to do now because of COVID. You're allowed to have 5 quarterbacks, 8 receivers, 6 running backs. It's insane because you got to have the manpower because so many people aren't going to play due to COVID.
Well, see, and I had this discussion with my league, and so we've been running our league for like 10 years. I kind of took over about 5 or so years ago. I was the treasurer before that because we were having issues. It was one of those situations like you. Nobody was paying, and my buddy that was running the league was like, I'm tired of running people down for money. Because we're all, at the time, it's $100 buy-in, which isn't really that bad. But I guess like when you're 24 and you're paying rent and whatnot, it gets a little tighter. I don't know. But that year that nobody paid, the guy that ran it came in first, and I came in second. The next year I was like, dude, I'll take over treasurer. And then he bowed out for a year and then came back. So I took the whole thing over. I run the whole thing. Try and collect the money. I'll run people down. I don't care. I'll be an asshole if I need to be an asshole because kind of have to have one in fantasy. But like you were saying, the more roster spots, I sent that out as an option to everybody. Do we want more bench spots? Do we want more transactions available? Nobody really responded, so I just left it as normal. I was like, guess what, guys? You're only going to get 3 transactions this year. You're only getting your 7 bench spots, and that's it.
That ain't gonna be. That's probably not gonna be enough. That's funny that y'all did that.
No, dude,
both. Yeah.
Shut up or shut
or
up.
Or that you decided to do that. I mean, it'll be interesting.
I mean,
you better not have don't have too many people on the same team.
No. Yeah, it's a crapshoot. You got to be smart about fantasy, dude.
Yeah.
If
you win, anybody that wins in 2020, I'm gonna say luck, or you're the smartest guy ever in fantasy.
Anyone that wins any year, because I can't tell you how many guys I knew in the office that were like the fantasy gurus and know everything about fantasy. And then I get in a league with them, and it's like they end up in 4th, and I end up in 2nd. I'm like,
yeah,
you're not a guru. It's just like luck of the draft, luck of the draw. Like you could pick up a guy in the 8th round or 9th round that's a backup running back, and then the starter gets injured, or you could, I picked up David Johnson a few years ago when I had the number 1 pick. First game of the year, he tore his ACL.
Damn.
There goes the leading rusher going into the season.
Yeah.
I was, shocked. It's a crapshoot. And the projected points are all bullshit anyways.
Yeah, no, I had Freeman for the Falcons his first year, and he blew up. That guy won me the league. Certain guys, if you could pick that rookie, I will tell you my quarterback choices this year. And I would say this to anybody that still has time, hasn't done their drafts yet. I grabbed the GOAT and Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan in this weird ass year is going to be a stud. I think the Falcons will go to the Super Bowl because think about it. If the Falcons are going to win the Super Bowl, what better year to win than 2020 when there's an asterisk on it?
If you look at the Falcons team,
this is the year.
If Matt Ryan gets blocking, he has 5 of the best outlets because Gurley knows how to catch. You got Julio, Calvin Ridley, Laquan Treadwell is just a huge human being. I mean, he killed it Ole Miss. And then Austin Hooper is just coming along nicely for everybody.
Good tight end, yeah, for sure. I like Hooper.
That's really where it comes down. And everybody knows Matt Ryan loves a good tight end. I mean, he used to feed Tony Gonzalez.
No doubt. I mean, why not? Think about it. When you've only got a second and a half because your line's not getting it done before you're creamed, what are you going to do? You're going to lay off a 10-yard pass all day long. I'd be like, where's my tight end? Where's my tight end? I'd look at my receivers. You can run 40 yards, but I'm never going to have enough time to throw it to you. So just keep running your routes.
I'm going to say, I mean, he made Algie Crumpler a household name.
I know. And Algie Crumpler had to run around with that big ass butt. He had a big butt for a guy that could
I know, dude. I know what that's like. Trust me, I got a huge ass.
I know, but yours is light brown and pretty. And on that note, we're going to take a break right here with the Yeah Come On Show. The Yeah Come On Show, a bunch of good people help us put this on. We're glad you're here with us. I want to thank Circle285.com. And trust me, right now, those of you trying to save money, insurance on your vehicles and your home, get a quote. If you're one of the good people or just only made a mistake or two, they're going to get you a better rate. Also, if your money means anything to you, this market right now is exploding if you have a guy that knows how to take you there. Ted Jenkins, OxygenFinancial.com. Those are our studios where we will come back to at some point in time. And lastly, here's a commercial from pick up 3, 2, 1. Here's a commercial from David Markwell with Ridgeline Counseling. He's your guy if you think you have an issue, and you do, because Brett and I do. We'll be right back with the Yeah, Come On show.
I'm David Markwell with Ridgeline Counseling. The current situation we're in is bringing all kinds of issues into our lives, everything from stress and anxiety to frustration, bouts of depression and loneliness. Well, we're here to help at Ridgeline Counseling. You can reach us at 770-993-9700, or you can email us at ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. Currently, we're offering telemental services through video and phone platforms, and in a few weeks, we'll be transitioning back to in-person office visits. In the meantime, stay safe. We'll get through this. Yeah, come on.
Special thanks to Dr. David Markwell with Ridgeline Counseling and all other sponsors of the Yeah, Come On show. I'll tell you, Brett, if there's anybody that we should get David to contact, because I think he needs some help, Odell Beckham. What do you think? That's that is called a talented hot mess, is what that is.
It's a hot something.
God bless Cleveland for dealing with that guy.
Something.
Yeah. So when I say to you, Odell Beckham, what do you say to me?
I mean, your mind can go so many places. It would start with when he got in the fight with the punting net or the kicking net. But now,
that net had it coming.
Nowadays, it's changed up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts about this whole story, and I mean, I've been following it very closely. Do you want me to break it down real fast?
Sure, break it down, because I mean, obviously we know the dude's a wild card, and I'll be honest with you, I had a chance to grab him in both my fantasy leagues, and I chose not to.
So, as we were speaking about fantasy, he's like easily like a first or second round pick. I avoided him because
he's the second round for sure.
Yeah, maybe a reach late first.
Maybe a third. Yeah.
But, okay, so there's this podcast called Thoughts Next Door, THOTS, and they went viral a few weeks ago. It's I believe it was like a guy and a woman, and they were interviewing this other lady. Now, all three of them do porn. That's their thing. They're porn stars. And
that's okay. It's a living.
Yeah, and the woman they were just talking to was discussing this instance where she was hooking up with a player from the NBA in a hotel room, and 7 of his teammates walked in, and she decided to give them all a dome, as we'll say, Georgia Dome. And the whole thing went viral. So the whole thing went viral because people thought it was a discussion about her sneaking into a hotel room that was in the bubble where no one's allowed to be. It actually was years prior that she had done this, or months prior. Doesn't matter. So they go on to this latest episode. Now it's the girl from the original episode and the other girl that gave the Georgia Dome out, and another girl now that they're interviewing, and she claims that Odell Beckham Jr. hit her up and asked her to send him a video or pictures of her taking a number 2, possibly a number 3, which she did. She then received a message from him saying, "I'm going to fly you out." This is her claims. And the whole time, I love how they're naming Odell Beckham, and they're just going, allegedly. We don't want to get sued. Dude, anybody that's taken a common law class knows allegedly doesn't stand up in court when you're naming somebody, and basically defamation, slander, whatever you're going to say about it, doesn't really hold up. But this girl said that he flew her out, gave her instructions that for the next 24 hours, I don't want you to bathe. I don't want you to wear underwear on the plane or anything like that. And then when you get here, I want you to take a number 2 or number 3 on me.
Yeah, that's just sick is what that is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what that tells me? He's had sex way too much. Now he's to the point of, I'm bored with it. That's why I got married. I was to the point that I had too much sex, too much strange. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to settle down. Because if you don't settle down, you're like, you got to reinvent the wheel. You got to start doing weird things. That's where animals get brought in. That's where people's parents get brought in. God forbid somebody of the same sex get brought in. That's just me. It's my opinion. But no matter what, it gets weird. And that's when you start doing bodily functions on each other. I had a girl urinate on me one time. That's all it took for me to say, yeah, we're never doing that again. But I didn't ask her. She did it. She just did it on her own. She was drunk. She did it. It was gross. But if Beckham is asking for that, allegedly, I don't even know. How would I know? That's just sick. That's just sick. I'm sorry.
To be honest, I think the whole story's fake. I do think that his response was pretty funny on Instagram, where he posted the picture of him like running down the field, and he wrote, "Can't knock me off my pivot, ... no matter what shit's thrown my way."
That's funny.
I thought that was pretty good response. And then
that's very, very funny. Number one, I'll tell you, the dude's, at least if he's weird, he's funny weird.
Somebody wrote something, and he responded with, "You know me too well. Shit's crazy."
See, and who knows if it's true? I don't know. I mean, why would the girl make it up? You ask yourself. I mean, she's already the freak of the week. Anybody takes on 7 basketball players, those dudes are tall. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of work for a girl. That was on her. But if that's what you do
in that situation, if you have to beat any of them, you maybe want to be like at the least 3 of the 7. You don't want to be 7th in Georgia Dome.
No.
You might not want to be first, because first might be a warm-up. I think about like 3rd or 4th, she's hit her stride.
That's her sweet spot for sure. But either way, these guys, I'm just like, damn. That's just a whole nother world. Anyway, when you hear a guy go, "Hey, I'm going to fly you out," do you realize it's the same as you going, "Hey, I'll take care of your Uber"? I mean, that's the kind of money we're talking about. That guy will fly out 4 people a week. He doesn't care. $1,000 airfare. But ding.
Steve, that's more like me offering a chick on a first date anything off the dollar menu.
Well, there you go. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't even compare it to an Uber.
Yeah.
But it's just a whole nother world, man. Especially if you've ever run with these guys, and a couple of my friends in the NFL and Major League Baseball have showed me their 2-week paychecks. It's intense. People don't realize they only get paid through the season, and that's it. And it's every 2 weeks. It's an insane. I did see one of Deion Sanders' paychecks once. I thought that was impressive, but it's like at some point, what do I do with all this money? What do I do? I mean, I got to do some stupid stuff. Let me just go buy a Ferrari and fly 6 girls out from around the world. That's what I'll do. I'll look at the 6 coolest chicks from around the world, and I'll fly them in just because.
Or you go to Oxygen Financial.
Or you go finance it, or get it, you get it invested with Ted Jenkins for damn sure. But, talking about other sports, I mean, we got football pretty nailed down. God bless you, Odell Beckham, whether it's true or not. At least you
I don't think it's true. I think it's a lie. I want to put that out.
I would lean towards a lie. But look at the sense of humor he has about it, because he knows he can't fight it off. So to joke about it's probably the better way to play it, especially if it's not true.
Oh, absolutely. Self-deprecation.
Always wins. And what do you think about the Masters? God knows we pushed that back. Who thought you'd have a Masters during football season?
Okay,
ever.
This is
or a Kentucky Derby during football season, technically.
Dude, first off, Kentucky Derby was insanely boring.
Yeah, I watched it. You know why? Because nothing else was on.
I watched it in Phil, that we had Funny Man Phil a few weeks back, my golf buddy, threw a pool party. It was an office-themed pool party, and me and the ladies showed up in full costume to only –
I saw your costume, by the way. Touche. Well done. I don't even think touche is the right word to use there, but who gives a damn?
Touche is perfect right there. I would use that.
All right, I hope touche is perfect, but dude, you look fantastic. I thought
the ones that showed up in costume.
You nailed it. Tell me you had a red stapler with you, even though I didn't see it.
No, the stapler was in a bowl of Jello. So Phil took care of all of that. But yeah, it was Kentucky Derby. I thought it was kind of lame. I'm a big
Yeah.
Derby guy. I love it every year. Tried to bet on it this year. Books closed early. I don't understand what was going on. It was.
I didn't either. I looked at it too. I looked at the betting site they kept putting up on the television, and I looked at my wife and said, I know you don't want me to bet. Well, guess what? I can't figure it out, so I'm not betting.
Yeah, it was this year. It just felt off. Didn't feel right. No fans. Different track. And it just nothing felt good about that one.
What about the Masters?
Masters, I'm very excited for this. So back in January, this will probably be the longest running parlay I've ever placed. I placed a parlay for the Bolts to win a single game, for the Washington Capitals to win a single game, both hit. It was like the Kansas City Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl. I think it was like, was the 49ers to get to the Super Bowl? All of these hit. For Conor McGregor to beat Cowboy Cerrone, that hit. And then
you bet on it all.
Oh, dude, this is a huge parlay. And I didn't put I didn't put like any money on it. I put like $25 to win like 700. And the last one is for Brooks Koepka to win a major. And all I need, I'm like, just win it at Augusta. And on top of that, I also have a side parlay for the Bolts to win the Stanley Cup and Brooks Koepka to win a major. I could clear out a month's rent easy if I hit these two. If he just wins,
I think that's strong. That's a kick-ass bet. That's what that is. I will cheer for him. I mean, for me, it's tough, because I don't know what I'm going to do when Tiger Woods walks away from the game. I don't know if I'll watch golf anymore. I just live for him. I don't know why. I just do. I'm that guy, which is sad. I hope not. But, I'm enjoying it. The Masters is probably, if you look at all the sports that take place in a year, outside of NFL football, for me, and maybe, occasional soccer matches, maybe a World Series, it's like the Masters is maybe number 2, number 3. There's nothing better to watch. That is like 3 days of just awesomeness for me. I let Thursday go, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I try to follow, spot on. So I look forward to it. I think the Masters coverage is going to be excellent. I think the Masters, I think I'll enjoy it more without fans.
It's going to look really open. If you've ever been to Augusta National, TV literally does that course zero justice. I went in 2015. The hills are way steeper than they look on TV. That course is so wide open. It is enormous. Some of the areas in the fairways, it is huge. But I have to say, this year is going to be a special year. It's going to be a weekend where nobody's able to contact me at all. Because I don't know if you saw this, but CBS put out that the Saturday round, instead of normally where they finish at like 6 or 7 at night, they're going to finish. They're shooting to finish at 4:00 in the afternoon, at the latest 5. So
damn.
Starting early on Saturday, and the reason for that is at 6 p.m. Alabama and LSU kick off. So
they're smart. They know what they're doing.
Obviously, they're changing everything due to the TV rights.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. That's great for a guy like me because I'm going to watch golf all day. I mean, this is a marathon day, son, not a sprint. And then on Sunday, they're going to start at like 7 a.m. like they did last time when Tiger won it because of the weather and all that. And they started really early, which I thought was great. I could wake up in the morning, crack a beer or a mimosa or whatever I want while I make breakfast and watch golf. It's over at 2:30 on Sunday, so they can have NFL up and running at 4. And I mean, talk about an awesome.
Doesn't get any better. Doesn't get any better than that.
This is how the Masters should always be run. It should be run earlier in the day so you have more time for football, or I don't know, I guess baseball or whatever it is. Because normally it's April. I love it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Right now, everything's coming during football season. It never has before because everything got pushed back. But that's fine. I'm looking forward to just sports. So this is good. This is really good. So cheers to our Atlanta Falcons. Good luck from the Yeah Come On show. We are Falcon fans. I ain't gonna kid you. Oh yeah, come on, Atlanta Falcons. I have this from when I was a kid. I think I got this in 1972 or 73.
Oh no, it's a car.
No, it's a car. It's a
Hey,
car.
can we not let Brooks play with that? I saw he destroyed your entire bobblehead collection.
He tried to play with that too. He didn't get all of them. He didn't get some of my Hawks players, and he didn't get Hank Aaron. But he did destroy some really nice bobbleheads. He got Dan Ugla. Couldn't save Ugla.
Nah,
And
no one could save up. That guy
no,
sucks.
no, I know. So what the hell? And he got some of my Atlanta Silverbacks guys. I was just like, those were collectibles. I was like, damn it, dude. But what the hell? He was sitting there right in the middle, and he go, Daddy, I need some glue. We need to glue. And everybody's telling me glue them back. They never look right when you glue them back. You can't glue them back.
Dude, nothing will beat my little collection of bobbleheads because, like when we were doing all our stuff with the Braves, they used to send us free ones all the time. I haven't taken any of them out of the box.
Ooh, see, I took them all out. You're a smart man. You're a visionary. You're like those people that bought 2 Star Wars figures, play with one, put the other one away.
Yep, never taken any out, and I've seen some of them like for $50 to $100 on eBay before. I'm like, I'll just sit, whatever.
Oh, that's sweet. The only one Brooks didn't smash up was Leo Mazzoni. And Leo Mazzoni had his made on his own and didn't even put an A on his hat. He's just wearing a blue ball cap. And I love Leo, but I'm like, Leo, you made this 5 years after you were out of baseball. And it doesn't even look like you, but I love you, so I don't care. But he didn't break Leo Mazzoni, so I've got Leo.
I have to ask you this, though, because we're talking about your kids. Are you guys trick-or-treating this year? What's going on?
We're doing it in our neighborhood. We know everybody, so we're going to stay in the neighborhood, and we're going to go to like 9-10 houses. We have a cul-de-sac party. Everybody's pretty cool here, so we'll do that. We'll make sure there's still some distance, but we'll stay here. So we're going to do it.
Yeah, because I saw Los Angeles shut it down already. They're saying no.
Well, they're idiots. I mean, I'm sorry. Let's just get political for a second. Any Democrat-run city is shit right now. Look at them, because they let these people run wild. They're letting protesters wreck their city. I'm sorry, Portland, Seattle, LA, New York, you're getting exactly what's coming to you.
Now,
that's it. I'm done. There you go.
As Mr. 419, I have to ask you about this because I'm getting pulled into this situation. I've been here before. It's not that
Yes,
bad.
I only had sex with Republicans.
I can't say the same.
No, I don't think I can. I think I nailed a lot of liberal chicks.
What about couples costumes? Do you and the wife still do it? Are they still a thing?
We've done it. And that's the thing. Like Amanda and I dressed up as 2 pirates one year. And then the best one is she wore her cheerleading outfit from Chattahoochee, because I'll let you know, my wife's not a 1, but she's a 2-time state champion cheerleading. And, that's serious. There's cheerleaders that just do the basics for football. Then there's competition cheerleaders. She was a competition cheerleader. So she wore her outfit, and I wore her leather jacket that fit me, believe it or not. And I wore black slacks and a whistle and a blue shirt. And I was her cheerleading coach, and she was a high school cheerleader, and I kept making out with her all night. That was a pretty fun outfit.
That is the creepiest, weirdest costume I've ever heard.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah, I know you love that shit. That is weird.
And then one year we were both burglars, the old school burglars, with the hats and, tiptoeing around. So I kept tiptoeing around her and grabbing her.
Hamburglar?
No, kind of like that. Yeah. Like the 1920s, what you would think a criminal would dress up as, referencing Christmas Story, that burglar, that bad guy. We were those guys. So we've done some different things that were fun. So, but I like couples. So yeah, if you and your girl do a couples thing, I think that's cute. Nothing wrong with that. I've done a Barbie and Ken doll, done that too. That's fine. It's all funny. I'm going to be a machine this winter. I'm going to get back in the gym when my eyes are ready. I'm going to go from broken down like I am now to a machine. Southside will rise from the ashes of the Phoenix. I'm going to rise like an ash. I'm going to rise up is what I'm going to do. That's what.
Hey, here.
No, real quick. One thing I wanted to talk to you about. What do I want to talk to you about?
Well, I I had an idea for you and your son because
That's right. That's
you
right. Because
have Parker. I saw this story online and I was like, holy crap, Steve should totally do this.
what?
Okay, so this story, I think it comes out of the UK because it's a BBC story. That's just my guess. This guy's name's Matthew Robinson. He's from Taunton. I don't know. And he was
Taught in
born
England. Taught in England. I'm
Yeah.
from Taunton.
He was born in 92, and over all the years of his life, his dad gave him a gift every year for his birthday. Now,
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
that's normal, but here's something different. He started the day his son was born, and he bought him a bottle of Macallan.
Ooh, that's an expensive bourbon. That's a whiskey. I don't think it's a Scotch, or is it a Scotch? I know what it is. I have a bottle, but I don't even know.
It's a
Macallan.
it says Macallan single malt. What did you say? That's a Scotch.
Scotch.
That's when you date a former bartender. It's a Scotch.
It's a Scotch. No, it is.
So this guy bought his son every year on his birthday an 18-year-old bottle of Macallan, and he said, "Don't open it." You know, when he was born, first birthday, second birthday. Now you got to think when this kid's like 16. It's probably pretty tough to not open that bottle that your dad gave you when he got a full line of bottles, but the kid kept every bottle. Over 28 years that his son has been collecting these bottles on his birthday, his dad has spent 5,000 pounds.
Yeah, that's about 7,000 American, 6,500.
Yeah, but over 28 years, that's not that bad.
No, it's not. I mean, it's an expensive bottle. The only reason I had to buy Macallan, this is going to sound a little inside, but when I owned my bar, Southside Steve's, Ron White drinks Macallan. He likes the 18-year-old, so I always had a bottle in there, but it was for him. I had him sign it, and we left it out, but I didn't let other people drink it. It was like his personal bottle, but I had to buy it for him. And it's expensive. There's a lot of guys out there like to fan out and get $200 and $300 and $400 bottles of stuff.
Well, see, that's the thing now. So this kid is 28 years old. He's got 28 bottles spanning from 1992 that have been preserved all the way to 2020. And he's selling off the entire collection of all the bottles. And they're saying it's going to be enough for him to buy his first house.
I don't know what an 18-year-old bottle. We know what it's worth buying. It's like $180, $200 somewhere in there. But what is an 18-year-old bottle worth 28 years later?
Yeah, in 92, that's a 46-year-old bottle. They're estimating that at auction this will at least be around like 40,000 pounds.
Unbelievable. I never thought of holding on to a bottle that is already 18 years old, and then you hold on to it for another 30 years. I mean, yeah, that's pretty intense.
I mean, if you're 5 years old, who cares? Because the dad was like, I'm going to buy him 18-year-old Scotch for 18 years, and we'll just see what happens. And he just kind of kept doing it and doing it and doing it.
He's got to pay his daddy back. I'm sorry. If his father's still alive, I don't know if he is.
Oh, he is. He is.
You got to give your – yeah. All right. That was your gift. It's your investment. I give dad back $6,000 to cover his cost and then use the rest. Yeah.
And they haven't even put the bottles to auction, but they've already had multiple collectors from Asia and New York offer cash straight up for the entire thing.
Yeah, because a bar will buy a bottle like that and then serve it for a crazy price a shot. I mean, it's almost a business move unless somebody just as rich as hell and wants to drink it. I'd buy it and then charge like $40 to $100 a shot or something crazy, in my bar.
Well, I did shoot this story over to BS and Bourbon up there in North Georgia. Some of our listeners that they want to do a collab podcast with us with some bourbon tasting and kind of
love to do
the bourbon game. But I've already talked to the two guys, and not until we can all get back in studio do we.
Yeah, because we need to taste it. We need to meet. We need to meet someplace and have our bottles. I've got a couple cool things I could bring to the table.
But
I wouldn't mind. I would open on a podcast.
They suggested that you should start doing this for Parker, but buying bottles of Pappy Buy one
if you
here.
can get it, it's so hard to get. Liquor stores, people don't realize they get 2 bottles a month or 3, and there's guys that are paying out the ass to be the guy that gets them.
So I'm thinking I connect you more with these guys that are they're commoners, and
All right,
see if we can start setting this up where you get a little trust fund, maybe pay for a year of college.
dude, I'd be all for it. Pappy Van Winkle all damn day. McAllen, you can get it. It's just going to take time. But Pappy Van Winkle, man, that's a tough get anyway. And man, if you had 20-year-old Pappy, like this guy had, my God, unbelievable. I can't imagine what it'd be worth.
Yeah, I've never even had Pappy. I've always wanted to try it.
My neighbor down the street has about 3 bottles. He has a connection, and he poured some for me. It's special. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been drinking just regular straight Jack Daniel's Black Label today. That's a different monster, man. Different man for sure.
I got a bottle of Elijah Craig right now, and that's about it.
Yeah. You know what I've been drinking too, and they've got a distillery right here in Canton, Georgia. They're new, but boy, they're doing really well. It's Legends. I've been drinking some Legends bourbon too.
I can't say I've ever had. I don't know, like bourbon to me, and like even when I talk to these guys and whatnot, because we'll message back and forth on Instagram, like I'll send them a picture of a bottle I get, and they'll be like, "You'll get these tastes," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not there yet where I can taste the difference. It's just all brown water."
Yeah,
and it makes you feel good.
If you've got the palate for it, and you've trained yourself. I mean, with wine, I've done a lot of tasting there, and sometimes I think I get it. Beer, I don't care to. I'm just not a beer drinker, but I would love to learn, proper bourbon tasting. I'm all about it because I love it.
We'll set one up with BS and Bourbon. We'll have those guys.
All right.
Anybody that wants to go check them out on Instagram at BS and Bourbon, those guys are awesome, and they message with us a lot, and they do a lot of cool stuff locally, just north of Atlanta. And
cool.
They're a couple cool dudes. They got their own little podcast, so I think we'll do like a collab episode sometime here.
No, I love it. It's so fun to hear a couple dudes, talk, especially when they know what they're doing. When it comes to a product or something like that. So I dig it. You and I we just do life. That's what the Yeah Come On show does. We just do life.
I was saying, speaking of doing life, there's been like 2 huge things during quarantine I think that we need to talk about. And one has been Netflix. The other one has been being bored at home and just purchasing random shit. And this has gone on way longer than I think any of us ever thought it was going to go on. So,
for sure.
Do you buy a lot of stuff online? I've bought like way too much stuff online recently.
No, my wife does. I don't. So she's bought clothes for me that I look forward to wearing one day. She watches sales and things like that. We're about to redo our garage. She's, set that up. She bought Brooks a car bed because I wanted him to have a big boy bed. So we got him a Hot Wheels car bed.
Oh, yeah.
That came in. Yeah. So, dude, that's badass. I'm really psyched for him. And he's been in it 2 days, doesn't get out of it, doesn't crawl out, jumped in, no crying during the night. He totally accepted going from the crib to the big boy bed.
Car bed?
Huh?
Can you fit in the car bed?
I can fit in it. Yeah. It's a regular twin mattress. You could put a toddler mattress in it if you wanted, but we went ahead and went big. It's a big boy bed. I can fit in it. So there's part of me that if the family's not here one night, I'm going to sleep in it. I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm going to sleep in a Hot Wheels bed because I never got one as a kid. I'd love to do it. But yeah, my wife is constantly bringing in like crazy things, but it looks like it's stuff we kind of need. She's gotten on this kick on facial cleansing. Stuff that goes in our protein shakes is coming in. So there's like a health kick going on for the face and the stomach. So I don't know. She's getting into a lot of weird things. She's following somebody that tries products and she trusts her. So when this woman does something and she likes it, next thing I know, it's coming in the house. So
yeah. So I've been trying to figure out like what the best thing that I've purchased on Instagram is. Or like not even Instagram or eBay or anything. Like I'm trying to now like look back and just go, yep, that was the best buy of my entire quarantine. Like something that I'm going to use well past quarantine. I bought a lot of golf stuff, like some T-shirts and whatnot. And I
All right.
bought like a Bushnell speaker and stuff that gives me my range and stuff. It's all like golf crap.
That's cool.
So the lady asked me if I would be able to install something. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And she bought a bidet.
Ooh, wow.
So
Nice. One of those that you just install on a regular toilet, or did you buy a toilet that is a bidet?
No, it's
the attachment. The attachment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that hooks in on your toilet. There's like a little device where you can turn it, and it shoots the water right in there. So you're not using toilet paper?
Very minimal.
So it gets it all off, huh?
I don't know. Like, I feel like you have to wipe after. First off, like the water's freezing cold.
I would totally. First off, I want my water warm, and I would totally wipe after. So but it's a cool way. At least you don't get the burn on the butt, from wiping too hard.
My fear is like the way I look at it, because earlier she was like, are we using it? I was like, I don't know, because like I'm worried now because this is like this extension that goes like comes down like this, and then all of a sudden this head pops out and starts spraying water. I'm like, is it touching the water that everything's in?
No. You don't want dirty water being sprayed on your butt. No, that's got to come from the tank, babe. From the tank.
It's a terrible setup too. It's like this little twist knob on your right. And so like the way it's set up, it's like this. So here is off, here is backside, here is front side. But there's no like lever.
What does it do? Does it do your sack too?
Yeah, there's one that'll shoot lower and like up under.
Oh. Maybe that's for if you're sweaty down there. You got a little sweaty sack and you want to clean up a little bit.
Oh yeah. After about, 18 holes, that's what you need.
Yeah.
You know all about that.
Yes, I do.
But like the first time, so I installed it and I was like, oh, this is interesting. How do I do this thing? And like the way the toilet's set up, toilet's here and the roll of toilet paper is in front of you on the wall. And there's like a towel right here. And so I turn it on and this thing goes and comes down and then just starts spraying. And I was like, oh my God. And I go to turn it off. Well, I blow right past the off. The other one goes, and then I'm like, oh my God, I turn it back. I soaked the entire bathroom. Had to clean the entire bathroom.
Hilarious. Get her to film you. Don't show me any nudity. Film me from the chest up. I'd like to see your face just when you do it. It'd be fun.
No.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll put that in the podcast.
I'll say the bidet. The bidet is a game changer because now next time this comes around and they're like toilet paper shortage, I'll be like,
oh, you're good. You're good. You just need a little bit to dab, a little dabby do. That's all you need. So no, that's a solid purchase. I haven't done that one yet. Never actually even used a bidet yet.
Now, have you been watching the hottest thing on Netflix? Everyone's talking about Cobra Kai. It's been out.
I have not. But Bailey on our show, Bailey and Southside again, Rock 100.5. He's watching it. He loves it. I watched Karate Kid, but I was older when it came out. I thought it was okay. Daniel LaRusso, and then the bad boy Johnny, and I watched it. I thought it got a little hokier as it went on. But supposedly this, Daniel's the bad guy, Johnny's the good guy. And this thing's taken off. I know it's 2 years old, but everybody said it was on what Netflix Red, and not everybody watched it. Now it's on regular Netflix. Or was it on YouTube Red? Maybe it was YouTube Red.
Probably, I think, or maybe Red Tube. Who knows?
Yeah, something. Yeah, whatever it's called. Yeah.
I don't know. Red Tube's a porn channel.
But you like it? Okay, sorry. Did not know that. Did not. I get all my porn at XNXX. So what do you think?
I'm really enjoying it. It's really damn corny though. It's cool. They do like the throwbacks to the old movies and like the kid dresses in the skeleton Halloween costume and it's like a lot of tributes to stuff that I watched when I was a kid. So I think it's kind of funny. Yeah, it is very hokey though.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
I'm trying though to think after last week when we had Jamie Ward on, who's trying to sell something on Netflix. Do you think that we could come up with an idea for a show that we could pitch to Netflix?
Possibly, because that seems to be working. I mean, you've got all kinds of shows that are working now where people are looking at it. We had somebody else on the radio where they were doing something. I know what it is. There's a guy that shows up in Australia and he gets paid 10 grand from the person that's deceased. So if you're terminally ill and you're going to have a funeral and you've got a lot of stuff that you want to get out, like family secrets and stuff, he'll show up, speak at your funeral, and say, John, who's no longer with us, wants to know or let you know, Mary, he knew the whole time you were cheating with Jimmy, and he just flattens everybody. He gets paid to say the uncomfortable, real things and just cause chaos at a funeral. And they're making it into a Netflix thing.
So I want to spitball this idea with you. There was that one show where it was like, there was the people that would get proposed behind the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And all that. That was like early on in quarantine.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Then there was Too Hot to Handle, where they put all the sexy singles on an island, but they couldn't do anything physical. So I'm thinking this is the show we pitch. Reality TV.
Right.
They literally meet at the altar, and there's 2 screens dividing them, social distancing, that they can't see through as they get married and say I do. And then when they say I do, it lifts up. They get to have one night together in the fantasy suite stolen from Bachelor. And then the next day they show up and they're in divorce court.
Unless it was love at first sight.
I don't know what we call it, but I think it would be funny as hell.
Oh, you got to let me think about that one. Let's see. Unseen love. Blocked out matrimony. Blocked. I don't know. There's something there. There's something there for sure. I'll think about that. I like it. I like where you're going with it. Blind love. Blind love. Because you're blind from each other. I don't know.
I don't know. It could just
or just call it stupid. Because it's stupid. It's a stupid idea. Not your idea, but it's stupid for them to do it, is what I mean. Yeah.
It'd be terrible. Like, you can't even see the person. Like, they're standing 6 feet apart, pastor right here. Boom. Now pronounce you husband and wife. They lift it up.
Blind marriage, like blind date, blind marriage, something like that. Yeah, I like it.
That was, I don't know. I wrote.
Well, hold your ideas. We can't get them all out on the Yeah Come On show, although you just said it. So we're going to note that this was done, on the 11th of September. So we got this just happened. We've got it. Don't try to copy it. We're trademarking it verbally right now. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know what you would call it, like social distance, social divorce.
Well, it doesn't always have to end in the divorce. It could happen. But, at least you have to say you were married. And you have to spend a night together. I like that part too. That's good.
Yeah. They lock you in like a tiny ass room, like a dorm room.
Yeah. So you got to,
Or like a jail cell. A jail cell where the toilet is in the room.
Oh, by the way, no clothes allowed. They have to spend a night. So then you take it from the naked and afraid thing.
Yeah.
So they got to be nude in there for the night. So, you got to cover up your stuff if you just don't want to be seen. And there's only one bed. And there's broken glass all over the floor, so you have to sleep in the bed. There's a path leading to the bed, and broken glass everywhere, and it's a twin bed, and you have to be naked.
Or we can eliminate the glass, and we'll just put in when you go to the beach.
Mouse traps? What? I don't know.
No. Like, you go to the beach, and it's like the first 50 feet of sand is like you sink in like 10 feet, and it's like a bitch to walk through.
Something uncomfortable you wouldn't sleep on.
Yeah, and like they have to walk through that sand to get anywhere. It's in the room. The room's got like 2 feet of just soft sand, and
nobody looks sexy because a girl can't look hot when she's walking in deep sand.
Yeah, but can you imagine a girl like this, butt naked?
And I can't do that. I got a hurt eye.
Go ahead. You have no idea what the other person looks like.
None. All right, I dig it. We'll talk more about it. I like it.
Yeah, the last pitch idea that I had, and then I'm good, is because you always like to run late to podcasts, and we sit here and we bullshit before you get there. Is we should just start taping our recording like before you get there. We'll call it "Where's Southside?" Where in the world is Southside?
I like it.
Then around Christmas week, we'll probably put out like, I would guess over a year, we'll get about like 12 hours. So
and just throw it out there.
12-hour long podcast of us just, where the fuck is Southside?
All right, I like that because I know y'all trash me, and I deserve to be trashed. Sorry, I fell asleep today with my kid. I apologize. But, I'm playing hurt. I'm doing the best I can.
I appreciate it. I'm just messing with you.
I don't feel good. I hate not being able to see. I hate seeing out of one eye. So I'll close the show showing you how bad it is. You want to see this? Can you see it?
I'm good. I don't have to look at it. I'll just look at myself.
That's gross. All right. Well, first off, I want to thank you, Brett Barney, for being here. I want to thank everybody for listening to the Yeah Come On Show. For those of you that watched, I think it was entertaining. Special thanks to Circle285.com. Special thanks to OxygenFinancial.com and Ridgeline Counseling with Dr. David Markwell, all proud sponsors of the Yeah Come On Show. I say cheers to you. I say cheers to NFL and college football, the Masters, and getting the world back on track. Damn.
Starting to feel more.